girls too. But to me, you pretty anyway, baby. You give me your number, I call you up. You act like your pussy on interrupt. I don't have no trouble with you fucking me, but I have a little problem with you not fucking me. Baby, you know I'ma take care of you, cause you say you got my baby and I know it ain't true. Is it a good thing? No, it's bad, bitch. For good or worse, makes you switch. So I walk on over with my crystal. Bitches, niggas, put away your pistol. Dirty won't be having it in this house, cause bitch, I'll cripple your style. Now that you heard my charming voice, you couldn't get another nigga. Your coochie won't get moist. If you wanna look good and not be bummy, yo, you better give me that money.
Hey, dirty. Baby, I got your money, don't you worry. I said, hey, baby, I got your money. Hey, dirty. Baby, I got your money.
Yeah.
Old dirty bastard.
That
Like,
is a way to start the show, boys.
that's like a part of you that's like, how did he even get put on? Because he's so unorthodox. He has no order at all, but he somehow is loved for his music.
Jay-Z.
When you know 8 other Wu-Tang members, you get famous too, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. He still stood out as like crazy as hell. He has no rhyme to his reason or reason to his rhyme. It's just
Love it.
like throwing a bunch of paint onto a canvas.
It's a metaphor for the podcast. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks
Makes
like
sense.
he looks like if Jay-Z had a baby with Jay-Z but had the attitude of Kanye.
True. I like that. True.
Yeah.
I like
Is that
that.
fair?
I can see that.
Well, boys, welcome in. This is the X's and O's. This is Rich.
This is Jermaine.
And
Don
we have a guest.
Stoney, YouTube
go.
debut. Don Stoney.
Yes, we are popping another cherry because that's what we do here. We just bang dudes. I don't know. It's apparently the thing. So welcome in, Mr.
Thank
Stoney.
you, boys.
I appreciate you coming in. You were supposed to be in probably about a month and a half, and you had some shenanigans occur.
Yes, sir. I had to reschedule our first, and I appreciate you bearing with me for sure. Had some life changes for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Life be lifing. Life does life.
Kind of what you had to deal with there, but you're more than welcome to. But regardless, who are you? What do you do? Kind of that general intro that we like to do here.
I like it, and I'm prepared because I've been watching the back catalog, so I'm prepared. Who Am I is a nobody that grew up in the Northeast, listening to Don Tony, Kevin Castle. Found that world on the download, back in the day. I didn't even know live chats were a fucking thing. So just enjoyed them, going about my business. One of the few wrestling fans that I knew was myself and Don Tony and Kevin Castle. So, kind of grew up with them a little bit, became a loyal fan, wound up joining the Patreon back in 2019. Still a listener on the download, just doing my thing, kind of enjoying their shit. And then for some reason, it struck me to get a little more interactive. So I found the Discord chats, live shows, and Don Stoney was born, man. And now I'm here looking at you two. I don't know. I just enjoy, I found these little communities, the Don Tony, Kevin Castle community in Discord is a little family. Obviously from there, found Draper and Spitball, a new little family. And just running in these small circles and enjoying fucked up comedy with you boys. That's pretty much what I do.
Thank you for coming on.
Hell yeah, thank you for having me. And like I was saying off the air, I came on for Jermaine. RD, whatever. I'm here to meet Jermaine. This is why you got me here this Saturday night.
The wife said the same thing. I don't know.
No doubt.
Welcome to have you.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, and look, full disclosure here. Like I said, we were supposed to go like a month and a half ago, and things got not mixed up, but things happened, and we had to switch and pivot and all that fun stuff, and that's no problem. Then this week came along, and then Thursday, the wife, she graduated again.
Oh yeah, high school's a bitch, man. Those are.
I don't know why you
years.
think it's high school. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
graduated 2 more degrees, so now she has 3, and she's gonna be working on her master's here soon.
No,
and-
that's all jokes aside. That's awesome, man. Props to her.
Yeah, it is.
Obviously,
Yeah.
you married up. And when you told me
Fucking
she
right, I
had 2
did.
more degrees, I thought you meant degrees of separation from you, because that's the only thing that made sense.
No, we're in
And
kindergarten.
now I'm
We're
thinking it,
Virginia. Yeah,
He
no,
West
said
we're-
Virginia.
high school, like you be at the McDonald's across from the school, just plucking them out. Like, I'll marry you. I'll marry you.
First of all, don't put me in that. Don't
Those
put me in
those
that
gypsy
barrel.
weddings, West Virginia, you got those gypsy weddings. I think they're prearranged and shit.
Don't
No,
put me in
no.
that kind of corner there. I'm more of a Chick-fil-A guy, right? You know, I only bang very classy ladies.
Dudes is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, I didn't know. It's 2025. Dudes can be girls, and the whole thing.
That's true.
You gotta like turn them
That
over
is
and
very
look
true.
at them like a cat. Make sure you have an innie or an outie.
Hell yeah.
This is 6 minutes into the show, boys. This is how it's going. It's good. So, but yeah, Thursday was supposed to be the normal scheduled thing, but it was such a busy day, man. Graduation was a whole thing, and then Friday, you had a conflict, and then Saturday, which worked out. I'm like, great, this is perfect. We got to record early, so I'm like, nice. So I'm not like halfway through, or I'm like, fucking tired. Shut up, Jermaine. Just get through the fucking thing. Christ.
Like I was gonna ask you, RD, you said you don't love the 10 p.m. slot. Why, how
No.
come? I thought that's like a good, I don't know. I felt like that was a good spot for you.
The only reason I don't like it is because I feel like we could get more live viewership if we were earlier in the day. But
True.
Jermaine's schedule is
True.
staunch, and I have no problem, and that it is what it is, and I love him, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to sacrifice.
12:30 to 9. I mean, I work dead smack in the middle of the day, and it's like, very rarely do we get to record early. I mean, last time we recorded early was probably during the football season. You know, we do a football podcast. And
Funny
I've heard.
That's a great segue, because I was going to tell you better get used to it here, because come in probably a month and a half, 2 months, we're going to be rolling out the football thing here soon. So
No, I dig it. You just got to get bigger on the West Coast, because it's fucking 7 o'clock there when it's 10. So you just need some Cali listeners, and you good.
There we go.
Yeah,
I mean, I have interacted with some Cali folks, so yeah, I mean,
we
could be a thing.
I dig it.
Then also every I don't know if you guys can see the chat here. StreamYard did a new thing right at the bottom right. It's real small. I don't like it.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what that little shaded box was over there by Stoney, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's where
I
the
wish
chat
it was
box.
bigger, but I'm gonna put up what he said.
I'm gonna say, I like it when it pulls up in the white. Yeah,
because it's a beta thing. They just started.
Yo, it's your first West Coast fan, Rams fans in the chat. It was 10 Rams, and we switched it to 8 to get more viewers.
Yeah, that's. I meant to change it in this thing. I put a thing on the Twitter sphere to put it out there.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so she graduated, which was just. Look,
awesome, man.
I'm an emotionally available person, and before the ceremony even started, I'm getting choked up, like just hearing the music. I'm like, God damn, man, this is like, it's nuts. But
what part of the city was it? What part of the city?
It was actually at Heinz Field.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and unfortunately, it was cold, and we were sitting in the rain.
Like, cold.
Yeah. So I do have some breaking news. I, on Sunday, got my first ticket. Now, fun story. I'm delivering, I'm making a delivery, right? And I'm in Shaler. I have no idea where I'm at, man. I've never been there, never driven in there. I'm like, cool, great. And I've been like delivering for like 6 hours at this point. I'm like, all right, I'm kind of fucking over it. I'm done. Whatever. So I have the GPS going. I'm following the person in front of me, and I got too wrapped up in following the person in front of me, and I ran a red light and apparently almost hit a cop.
Ooh,
Yeah.
good thing you got back. If
All right,
if I was telling this story, I wouldn't be here.
I get into that part. So so it sounds worse than it actually was. So I'm going, I don't know, I'm just going, let's just say there. The cop is there. The turn is going to like the top, like to south to northwest. I'm just, in that kind of mind frame of just following the car in front of me.
Were you listening to music, podcast?
Yes.
What were you listening to? Audio book? What were you
I
doing?
think Tyler the Creator was on actually. So, which I may have to remove from my playlist because I'm like, you're bad juju now, so I can't fuck with you.
Still has the funniest tweet on the internet. Is cyberbullying? Turn your computer off.
Fair, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Best tweet ever.
and it was obviously my fault. I shouldn't have been following the car in front of me. Been paying more attention to everything around me, but I'm also, once again, I have no idea where I'm at. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the roads. It was also construction zone, so I'm like getting like the highest ticket possible. It was like 175. So he beeps at me, then hits his lights. I'm like, oh, what did I just do? And I'm just sitting here like shaking my head. I'm like, God bless, man. And here's where the story turns. White privilege enters the chat. So
we assume, Jermaine, we assume that, right, when he said he got pulled over and
yes. Yeah. He actually didn't even pull me over. He just gave me a handy and was like, "Oh, sir, are you okay?" So I pull over to the side, and he comes out. He's like, "Buddy, you almost hit me. You ran the red light." I'm like, "Oh my God, sir, I'm so sorry." Like, it was a very genuine, like, "I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I'm doing a delivery. I'm not sure exactly where I'm at. I'm just following the directions, and I was just following the car in front of me. I didn't even realize it." So, yada, he writes it up. It comes back. Gets my, registration. Gets that. Everything is real calm. Everything is real cool. And he's like, here you go. I was like, okay. He's like, look, here's what you got to do. Like, this dude told me this. He's like, here's what you got to do. Plead not guilty. Listen. Plead not guilty. Ask for leniency from the court. And I have no problem granting that. I will agree to it. I have no problem with that. Just make sure you just kind of do these things and take care of it. So,
in all fairness, he might have thought you were retarded, but in fairness,
that's fair. That is fair.
He said he looked right into you and seen the autism in your eyes, and he had you.
You don't see a lot of people with Down syndrome in prison. I don't think I ain't seen that.
Yes, no, not at all.
Dang, he told you how to beat the ticket. Oh my!
So
wow,
and then he shook my hand.
Wow.
So, and I've been like stressing the whole thing I've been stressing the whole thing, and they gave you the ticket, they gave you the, what to do. They said, send in the ticket money for collateral. Or what I was able to do is I was able to email them and say, I'm going to plead not guilty. I don't have the money for the collateral. Just choose what day would work better for you for a court date. And I'm still waiting to get the response, but they got the email and everything because I had correspondence with the person that got it. But just white privilege, man. Nuts. Like not only was I told, I almost, I ran a red light, quote unquote, almost hit a cop, but I didn't really almost hit the cop. He just didn't go yet. He wasn't coming towards me, but he was like the first car in line. So if things went haywire, I would have, but came and told me how to beat it, was real calm. He's like, and to be fair, he's like, because you were very respectful about it, I have no problem doing this. So white privilege, yes, but also like handling it like an adult and
True.
taking accountability and admitting like, hell, my God, man, what did I do?
That's what it's really about. Yeah,
But
you're right. The honesty,
See, I don't get the chance to be honest. I don't get the chance to even show you that I respect you, officer. I don't get the chance. Like, you're talking to a guy that's got pulled over in a car full of white guys, and I'm in the back seat,
right.
and he asked me for my license as if I was driving. I'm like, what?
Damn.
He skipped the driver and said, "Can I get your license and your ID in the back?" And the guy in the front was like, "But I'm the one driving. Why are you asking for his information?" So,
Like, sir, are you
that's
driving
how I
under
treat it.
duress?
So, wow.
Familiar with Pittsburgh, like 50-50? Is it, how is it spread out? It sounds like you got a bunch of, redneck West Virginia white cops running around.
It depends where you're at. I mean, it's just like
It
every other
depends on the
city.
neighborhoods, yeah. As far as the cops, like the city cops, majority I'm gonna say is I want to say majority, like 90%. They're
Hey,
white.
showed up.
I mean, as far as yeah, there's not a lot of ethnicity in the Pittsburgh Police Department. Put it that way.
But once again, why would you want to be a black cop? It's just the thing. Like, why would you? If it's kind of like this, if you were afraid of fire, you're not going to go be a fireman.
Fireman.
It's just one of the things where I'm like,
don't bring up fire, RD. Why you fucking with me emotionally? Already? Fire, this guy.
Well, I'm passive aggressive, sir.
Well, true.
But yeah, that was my first ticket in instance with that whole thing. So I'm still kind of waiting for that to kind of fall out. And but yeah, it was kind of a weird, like, I feel, I felt real bad though.
That's not a joke. Rams didn't even know that, and he's spun.
Yikes! Really?
Back in the day, this is 25 years ago.
Even beating the time.
That's how we grew up in North Jersey. When you're running into Manhattan to fuck around and buy drugs and weed, and it's when you're 18, 17. That's what happens sometimes.
I mean, you play with fire, you get burnt.
No doubt. You learn those lessons. I learned all those lessons growing up. Probably before I was even 21, I learned most of those lessons. So it's
how old are you
at
now?
this point, I'm 40. I'll be 44 at the end of the month. Another Gemini, Jermaine.
Really?
Way to go. We always get the brunt of, as soon as you tell your sign, it's like you created a crime or something. So it's like, wow.
For sure. That's why we got to stick together.
Yeah. My shit is coming up on Monday. My shit is on Memorial Day. So.
All right, mine's Thursday. All right, hell yeah. Happy early, and hell yeah.
Happy early birthday to you as well. But yeah, man, I don't get the chance to even be cordial. Like, my first thought when I get pulled over is, first of all, I'm like, don't nobody make any sudden moves. Second of all, I'm just trying to get out of it without getting beat up or something. It's like, hey man, I just want to get home. If whatever ticket you got to write it. Like,
true.
There's no. Let me show you how.
Turn the old dirty bastard off, man. He's pulling us over.
Yeah.
Look, and it's funny because in that whole process, I'm sitting there like, I'm just sitting. I'm not trying to move. I'm not reaching for anything. I'm just like,
doing that Down syndrome thing. He's like, I pulled over this poor boy. He's like, I don't even know.
Getting his downs together.
And I even had sunglasses on. He didn't make me take them off.
What? Yeah. See, I mean, I can understand, like, when you're young, like young punk, like anyone from 20 to 30, I can understand a cop being pretty aggressive because you're a knucklehead at that age. But as you get older, I mean, even as an older black man, I still get treated the same, like, as if I'm just grouped in with the knuckleheads. Like, there is no, I don't graduate to a reasonable person. Like, if they don't respect, think you're a human being, then they just don't really, they don't treat you as such.
It's fucked up that's really where we're at in 2025. Like, I grew up in Northeast Jersey. I had every color friend, every ethnicity friend. Like, it's fucked up to me that shit like that is real. And that's, you got to deal with that shit on a daily basis.
I'm
used to it. It's not even shocking. There's no story that's surprising to me anymore. So
I mean, this one should be surprising a little bit. Like that was a little bonkers. Like it was more like our interaction was like at a swap meet. It wasn't like a traffic violation. Like
just like you said, he came up to the car and said, "Hey, buddy." Like, do you think I ever get called buddy? Like, I get called everything so short and so close to nigger. It's it's unbelievable. So yeah, I don't get any buddies, and hey,
it's crazy to me.
But I mean, not for nothing. I will say I'm proud of myself for handling it the way I did. Keeping my wits about me, because I'm not your buddy guy.
Yeah, you're a road rager, so normally you would fly off the handle. So yeah, I give you props. You matured a little bit.
Dude, I came. Jesus came to me. He's like, "Look, Fredo." I'm like, "Yes." Listen, here's what you got to do. And I think just I had that crystallized moment where I'm like, okay. And here's even the thing. I forgot about this because I still had the delivery stuff in my car. I was like, yeah, I'm just delivering this guy's food. He's like, well, go ahead and get going, man. Don't let the stuff get cold. I'm like, all right. Like the whole thing was like 5 minutes. He didn't like it. Just the cordialness of it was baffling to me, but it made me think. Like, and this is why I didn't really want to say anything to you before we did the pod or anything, because I wanted to actually kind of, in real time say the first thing I thought of, like, dude, thank God I'm not black. Legit. And I the same
thing. I'm saying you got the hall monitor treatment. Like, I mean, you got the treatment as if, when you were in the fourth, maybe fifth grade or something like that, it was that person that was in the hall that thought that they were, a hall monitor, and they had their little badge on. Like, you got an occasional, hey man, you can't do that, and you just kept went about your business. No. Right. Most of my experiences, they definitely never happen like that. It's either a long drawn out process. It's either get out the car, we're towing it. I'd have never finished my deliveries. The car would have been towed.
You shouldn't run. I'll give you advice going forward. Don't run. Don't
I don't run.
Back door open. He run in the woods. Don't do that.
No. I know not to run. I would definitely not be here. But yeah, I get to it's to the 10th degree. Whatever crime is, the whole crime, like all of it. You get the maximum penalty of everything, pretty much. And very, very rarely do I get any type of, hey, just don't let it happen again or keep going.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that
I still can't believe it's like that now. In 2025.
2025.
You still gotta,
you shouldn't really be surprised, man. Like crazy, it's not like the social.
It's foreign to me, yo. I never like growing up. I didn't look at people like that. Like it wasn't like like nah. Like just like Jermaine, like you said, we just people. Like everybody's got their shit, and it doesn't matter what your skin looks like. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's almost like somebody got into power that made things worse. It's fucking weird.
Every politician ever. I think you're referring
about to say. Yeah, I mean, that's been going on since I can remember. So it's just like being judged or being biased. Like it's like I'm already judged. I'm already guilty, and I have to kind of fight for my innocence. It's like I don't because with most people, I don't care what ethnicity you are. You got a clean slate. I don't know you, so I'm not gonna prejudge you before I even meet you. It's like. You got to do some fucked up shit for me to turn around and say, okay, now I put you in this box over here and I don't fuck with you. I'm not going to just automatically put you in the box before I even meet you.
I'm just happy I wasn't holding that day because I, generally
easy being green.
especially since I'm going to places where I don't know. I'm just glad I wasn't kind of holding that day. So, yeah. Because not that he would have even searched or anything, he didn't ask anything. He didn't ask us or anything. And you have any weapons on you? He's just like, "Hey, do you have a license?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And he just let me get it. And then he's like, "Do you have your registration?" I was like, "It's on the phone. Here's go. Well, I'm gonna go run your license here real quick. I'll be right back. Go ahead and get that up on your phone." And he got my phone and looked at it. And he's like, "All right." Well, here's your citation, yada yada. But yeah, anyway, that was that. That was Sunday. So we're about a week out, and I'm still like, I'm not nearly as free. Like, I will tell you this, then the passive thing that happened, and the thing I'm definitely going to bring up in court is because I'm going to the hearing. I'm going to follow those directions, but I am much more cognizant of what I'm doing. So I think in a weird way, I, not to sound silly like a parent, but I kind of learned my lesson of like, hey, you can't kind of fall into that lull as you're driving. You can't just kind of follow, especially if you're not familiar, you can't just follow the flow of traffic. You got to be more, you got to be more in tune. It's just, if you're going to be doing this, which segues into my next thing here, but I'm going to block that segue for a minute and tell you, I did in Stoney, and you are aware of how this goes. We did do our little draft wheel, and I spun it a little earlier.
Oh shit! I did. I am aware. The most recent one was the Dave Chappelle skit draft, which I liked.
That was a good
a
one.
lot.
That got a lot of hits too. That was good. So, Jermaine, I told you what it is, but this is actually your draft idea. Okay, when we were adding things to the wheel, I would like you to explain more so what it is, because I don't have the words, because I'm bad at being an adult. Clearly, based on the first 20 minutes of the show, you can see how I'm bad at being an adult.
Yeah, I mean, I know we did I don't know if we did a draft on it, but I know we talked about, basically teachers. It could be a teacher, a coach. I can even say, even if, you had a father figure or a mother figure, I don't want to make it sexist. So any type of figure, teacher, or someone that had an influence on your life, or that you could say that they were one of the best either teachers or motivators or coaches that you've known in your lifetime, pretty much. I mean, I remember naming two that had a significant impact on my life in high school. And you're saying, I mean, our drafts go 4, so I'm gonna be kind of on tilt looking for a third and a fourth. But
and a little caveat to this one here too, this is not going to be one of those ones where you can't have crossover, right? This is not, I mean, obviously
can't, it's only
you can't.
choices.
I mean, there's going to obviously be a few people that will be crossed over on each other's drafts, but anyway, just to let everybody know, so you can start kind of formulating your thing there. But the segue to driving and all that stuff, it looks to be, I finally, after 4 or 5 months of looking, looks like I finally have gainful employment. So that's exciting.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yeah, so probably 3 or 4 months of that was my fault, because I was aiming a little too high. But obviously knowing your worth and what you bring to the table and your abilities and your skill set, I'm not gonna really try to settle. But now money is much tighter, and we have to kind of make a move. So I definitely lowered the bar a little bit on the finance part, but I'm still going to be doing something that I'm in the tech field, so I'm fine with that. So that's exciting. I go in, I'm not
OnlyFans, Jermaine. It's OnlyFans. He's not saying the big part out loud, but hell
yeah.
No. Hell yeah, Artie. Fucking subscribe right now.
Look, my butthole is so nice.
I'd fucking tip you, motherfucker.
Yeah. Look, you should.
Hell yeah.
No,
congrats though, RD, for real, man. I know what that feels like, and I've been there myself more recently than I wanted to be, and definitely, man. It's he coming out of that place and move forward, and that's even in our with what's going on in our life. I feel the same way, man. We gotta move forward, and hell yeah.
And
I like your approach with it, which you said at first you was aiming too high. Sometimes you do gotta come in at a level that you're above, but you gotta kind of either prove it, and plus sometimes when you come in at a high level, there's a ridiculous amount of expectations that you don't fully understand. That's not on that application. It's not on that job description, and you probably want to get in at probably a mid to low level to kind of learn the ropes, and then hike yourself up from there.
Right, and obviously I was aiming more towards where I was getting before. Unfortunately, I'm taking probably about a fifth of that salary. Well, not I'm taking 4/5 of it. I'm taking a fifth of the pay cut, but still, it's not terrible. I mean, I'm probably still going to do some Uber stuff on the weekends to kind of, subsidize that. So, whatever. We're going to be fine. But I haven't had like the here's your offer letter or anything. But basically, I was their first interview. It was on Thursday. They called me yesterday. That was what, Friday?
Mhm.
Wow. Damn. Okay. Yeah. And they were like, "Hey, we really, really like what we had, what we heard. What we want you to do is we want you to come in on Wednesday and we'll give you a tour of the place and all that." So it wasn't like, "Hey, come in for an in-person interview." It was like, "Hey, we're going to come give you a tour," which to me, and maybe I'm being a little presumptuous here, but to me, that feels like they're basically saying, "Hey, here's the job. Here's what you're going to do. Here's where you're going to be. You let us know if you like it." Like that. That's what that sounds like to me. You don't go on a tour of a place unless you're kind of hired, right? Like, am I off base on that?
Well, I mean, you could be definitely one of the final candidates. I mean, you're not going to bring in someone that you have no interest at all in hiring and tell them to come to the tour. That's just playing around with a man's soul. So, yeah, you're definitely one of the final candidates. That's all. I was probably narrowed down to probably like you and two other people, and then they also have to see if the candidate likes what they want they're doing and so on and so forth. Because strangely enough, some people do get a job and then they lay the offer on the table and they turn it down. They're like, "Nah, I'm good." They move on.
Until they watch this pod and find out about your white privilege, and then they'd be like, fuck this guy. Fuck
Well,
this guy.
I did interview with them, and they're all white guys. So,
True.
but yeah, I interviewed with the HR manager. He does payroll as well, and he's the one that called me. We cracked some jokes back and forth, and asked me what day would work better for me, and so it doesn't seem like it's a group type of interview or group tour. It's more of an individualized thing, but I don't know. I feel pretty confident about it. So that's exciting. Just happy to kind of be back on there because you can go to the whole gender kind of role thing or whatever you want to do, or you measure yourself as a man based on your employment or what have you. I just realized I didn't fucking make this better. There we go. Okay. It's one of those deals.
I'll make it better by cutting yourself a larger part of the screen and shit. And moving you see that? You could turn me into an ice cream sandwich and shit.
There we go.
Yeah.
Much
Much better. Jermaine, man, I was telling you off the air, I don't know what fucking lottery you lost, but to hang out with RD every week, man,
Yep.
you did some fucked up shit in the previous.
No, because I remember I made a custom layout and I didn't realize it made. Oh, it really does fucking scorch you guys out there, doesn't it? That's shitty.
Yeah. He was like, "I found something better." I was like, "This this narcissist asshole. He just
Even better.
short.
Watch this. There we go. Now we're much better. Anyway, I got the riff raff out of here.
Jermaine, I props to you, my man. I give it up to you.
But yeah, man, just kind of, I know there's the whole measure yourself as a man by your employment. And we actually had an episode about that. And it's hard to step away from that, right? But knowing and seeing the struggle actually start to happen, because we were doing okay for a while. I was still, we were doing fine for a while and coasting, but it just kind of, now it's at the point where like, okay, our savings are kind of kaput a little bit, and we paid a lot of stuff off and all that, but now it's tighter and not as comfortable as we'd like it to be. So, and I was still driving and making and doing stuff. I wasn't just sitting here, but there was nobody coming to knock. There was nobody, and the people that were knocking and calling back were, "Would you like to sell insurance?" I'm like, "Would you like to suck my dick?" Like, no, I don't want to fucking do that. Stop telling me, stop do. Or I was getting Durka Muhammad Jihad messaging me with her 14 consonants in her name. My name is Jahid Shahim Fatim Padimpadum. I have an opportunity for you to remote job. Would you job like? No. the fuck are you saying to me? And then I would get the calls.
Outsource
I would get the
yourself.
calls. And it's like,
RD's gonna
my
outsource
name.
himself.
Right. And like, I'd get these calls, and it's like, oh, my name is whatever, blah, 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 blah. Like my name is Drumline. Okay, cool, great. Hi. Would you like to do in Robinson? I'm like, I'm sorry. What the fuck did you say?
Yeah.
And because I can't understand what you're saying. I'm not like trying to like shoot those people in the foot, but I'm also like, what the fuck are you saying? You can't be a recruiter and me not understand what the fuck you're saying. It's goddamn ridiculous.
No doubt.
Yeah, the insurance business must be desperate because I mean I know every time that I've been out of unemployed and looking, those are the first people that come bring it. I mean they really want you, and the thing that gets me about the insurance is they want you to pay something up front. Like it's like, okay, for just $400, if you buy the book for $400, I'm like, I came to y'all because I was broke. What you think I'm gonna come to you and put money into your business? Like,
yeah, because you gotta get the license. That's the kicker. You get the license, or you'll get the people that'll front you it, and then you have to pay it off or whatever.
Or buy your leads, buy your own fucking leads. Oh, come work for us. You can make 150 grand. You got to buy the fucking leads though. They didn't tell you that's 30 grand. Yeah.
They're there to get suckers. They're there to get the people that are very desperate for money. That are like they will just see the money, and then they'll say like, oh well, I mean, I'm smart enough to kind of do this. I can do this. I mean, they wouldn't offer this type of money without the training, and I can do. Okay, yeah. Is that why Globe Life is basically like knocking on my door like a Jehovah's Witness saying, "Hey, you want to work here?" Fucking no.
all those positions, because I've been in that same exact spot, throwing resumes out there and hearing from those people. It's the turnover, man. They can't keep.
There you go.
Exactly. The next one, and then again and again and again, and it's just a cycle.
Yeah.
Oh, or you ever get the ones where they're like, sell some knives, but you got to buy the $200 knife itself, and you got to know your knives and vacuum cleaners and shit like that. They make you pay for the product. It's crazy.
I think the insurance companies took over because those are basically that's what the whole pyramid schemes were, and then those kind of got phased out by the insurance. Like the insurance is now like the pyramid scheme.
True. You don't have to tell me I'm dealing with insurance. We have one company, Progressive was our home insurance, and we're dealing with 5 adjusters. One does the structure, one does the backyard, one does your personal possessions, it's a fucking nightmare. You go through a nightmare, and then you got to go through another nightmare dealing with these motherfuckers on the other side. So yeah, I believe me, I hear you. I got no love for the insurance companies, that's for sure.
Yeah, they kind of feel like pariahs, man. Like they do. I don't know. Like you have to, and it's not a knock on anyone that does insurance. Wink, wink. But it does take a certain type of person to be able to do that, but do it because it's a pool, right? 90% of the people that are in insurance are goddamn awful people. But then there's the 10% that are
at the top. They, like you said though, they're recruiting motherfuckers who just looking for anything. I work anywhere. So I need some money. I got to support my family. I need something coming in. It's these motherfuckers at the top that are the fucking real pieces of shit.
Because they come in and they sell you a dream. Like the people at the top, just like those pyramid schemes, they tell you how to come in at the bottom, and then they bring in this fancy person that's at the top of the pyramid making millions of dollars, and they make you think that you can get there in 6 months or something like that. Meanwhile, this person's been working at it for 3-4 years, and you coming in at the bottom and selling you a dream that you can reach this successful person. And it took a lot for that person to be successful, with a lot of, behind the back, underhand type of shit they had to do to get there.
A lot of denied claims, a lot of no paying out is for sure, these motherfuckers. And right now, like I said, we're still dealing with that shit too. It's every personal possession you own, you have to itemize. Instead of like, your policy covers this amount, It's like, no, how much was your fucking computer? How much was your fucking box of tissues that you bought? You literally to the item. And then they come back and they're like, oh, you bought that computer 10 years ago. It's worth a third of what it is now, when it obviously isn't. So it's fucked up, man. The insurance game is I'd rather borrow money from the mob than deal with fucking Progressive.
Well, because they, just like with any, personal injury or accident or whatever, they don't want to have. Why do you think there's insurance lawyers? Like, their lawyers are like, we will fight the insurance companies because they are cuts.
Sure.
They and I get it from a business standpoint. You want to make the most profit as possible. You don't want to have to pay out. So,
well, they want to frustrate you and make you jump through every hoop possible, including the one the size of a fucking Cheerio hole. They make you jump through every little hoop that they can in order for you to just get frustrated and say, "Fuck it, I'm done with it." They make out when you offer your frustration.
Slow is the mob. Also, too, Jermaine, they make you, they fuck you too, because every item that I owned, I have to jot on a list and think of everything from fucking 30 years ago. But I'm not going to rebuy all those things. So how am I going to go back and be like, oh, no, you gave me a lesser amount. I just bought it. I don't even know what I had to rebuy. So they fuck with you that way, too. It's like, if you do go rebuy it, then they pay you the difference. Blah. You got to do all the work. They make you fight for every fucking dollar.
And yeah, you made a great point. Like, the whole point is to frustrate you into, like, you know what?
Giving up.
Submission. Fuck yeah.
And that's just, once again, and I understand the business side of it. It is a scheme. It is a process. It is a service. It is there to let you get your stuff back from a financial standpoint. But they are going to do everything in their, and I've never had to deal with it, but they're going to do everything in their power to lowball you, to say, oh, you just bought that keyboard yesterday. It's depreciated by 7% now.
And that's not even a joke. That's really how it is. And if you do go rebuy that keyboard and show them the difference, they will pay you out again. But you have to go rebuy that keyboard. And
right. And how long is it going to take them to pay you back? Like, what, 6 weeks, 7 weeks?
And there's plenty of shit that I'm not going to rebuy. I had shit from fucking 35 years ago that I don't even remember what it was, let alone I'm going to rebuy it and show them a receipt. So they fucking take every cent they can, every place they can. And I don't know.
And how are you supposed to even know? Like, I bought this.
Keep your receipts, boys. Keep your fucking
receipts. And
then take pictures of everything in your house.
And here's the problem, right? Let's say you bought a computer for $500 10 years ago, or let's say 5 years ago. Inflation's now gone up. That's probably what now, $800 or $900. But you're saying the depreciation value does not take into account the inflation value, because now you have to buy that same thing, and it's probably a third more than it used to be. But
fuck yeah. Same thing with the materials on our structure on the house. Just the structure, the lumber costs more. The fucking everything costs more, and they're looking at it like, oh, this is what you paid, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Fuck that. It's costs more now. So same thing. We gotta fight them, and then they do it, but it's just a fucking problem. They make you put in the work. I feel like I fucking work there.
Yeah.
35-year-old blow up dolls. I don't.
You
sent me that, Ram. So I was gonna text you about the receipt, because that's gonna be a tough one to prove.
But yeah, I mean, it's just not great. But you, Jermaine, what happened this week with you? Anything not on really par with my week, because my week's been silly. But yeah.
Any white privilege for you, Jermaine?
Yes.
Not at all. I mean, it's just pretty much, it's one of those things. I got some time off. Like, I had off yesterday, and I got some time off. I got some time off coming up, because I always schedule time off around my birthday. And I schedule those days. But the thing at work, and I don't know if y'all know this, I know in in the management atmosphere, or anytime you're about to go on vacation, that last day before you go on vacation is a total shit show. I don't know what happens, but from the minute you clock on that last, because you think it's going to be easy, you're like, all right, this is the last day, and then I start my vacation. Everything happens wrong. I mean, from
It's
the
all in your head.
minute you clock on,
It's
I
in your
don't
head.
know. It just keeps happening.
Well, it's because you go into it. It's like you know how they say never go shopping when you're hungry, and you always come home with like.
It's true.
I did not need 6 things of Oreos. I'm not mad about it, but I didn't need it. But it's your perception, man. Because honestly, that shit could happen last week, and you're like, oh, okay, whatever, it's fine.
Just a regular day.
But it's because you're like, I'm ready. I'm hoping. But then you have been burnt so many times by it that you're already going in defensive. But I know exactly what you're saying, because that last day is like, it's like that meme of that guy that's standing with all the war shit behind him, all like the you know what I mean, that meme that you see now. No, you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I've seen about 1 million memes. RD, you got to be
Well,
a little more.
It's the guy. It's like the downtrodden white guy with all. It's like the military guy with all like the all the war zone shit happening in back of him, and it's like I 100% you've seen it, but that's exactly what it feels like on those days, or the day before vacation or anything like that. It's like, oh shit. But
I used to take off to my birthday week too, but going through the situation we went through, I was of course out of work for a minute when my work computer melted in the fucking house fire. They made me, and this is standard, but I take all my PTO, so I had a full, week sick, week blah blah blah. I used it all, no fault of my own. So now I'm at the point where you take a day here, take a day there. It's unpaid. So I took Friday. My birthday's Thursday. I took Friday off as opposed to the full week. So it puts you in a weird position too.
Yeah. But
one thing I didn't think about is, like, let's say I go there and I get this job. I'm gonna have to tell them, hey, real quick, just so you know, there's gonna be a random kind of Tuesday where I'm not gonna be able to come in because I have to go to court.
Yeah, true. Well, you should have seen the email I sent. I was, hey, I know I haven't known you guys that long, but I'm not going to be in tomorrow. My house burned down. I lost the computer that you sent me. So it's
they sent you an email back. We need proof, sir.
Yeah. I sent pictures. I sent the news articles as well. Fucking crazy.
I mean, but that's just, that is one thing I thought of though. I'm like, watch this somehow fucks me, and I'm just like, you know what? Here's the $1.75. Forget it. I'm not going to court. Take it. It's fine. But so no white privilege for you this week. What about any? I know you don't really do too much for your birthday there, but do you have anything on the books there, Jermaine? Or
no, nothing really planned. I mean, just hanging out with my kids, or nothing spectacular. Maybe. I did go to the movies after speaking to what was his name? British guy. Dang, I don't forgot his name. Robbie, right? Yeah, Robbie. Yeah, remember I went and seen that Marvel Thunderbolts. It was good. Just like he stated, it was like, their, history in the past and all of that. So, but movies are crazy. I got my son. It was me and my son. We went to the movies. I got 2 tickets, regular tickets, no 3D, no nothing. $35.
Yep.
$35 for 2 tickets, $17.50 a ticket. Movies is great, and then I got some snacks that came to $40. So it was like out of like $100 at the movies, and it was just me and my son. Like,
we lucky since we moved to Maryland. We're in a small town. I'm on the eastern shore of Maryland, so not by Baltimore. We're by Ocean City, and the little theater here that got hit during COVID has now turned it around. They put in reclinable leather seats, beautiful stadium theaters, $7 a ticket, any showing, any day of the week. Refills, free refills on your popcorn, free refills on your drink. So me and wifey are there every opportunity we can be. We actually saw Mission Impossible today with my parents.
Yeah, they did come out.
Every week we ask my parents, yo, join us at the movies. It's fucking dope over there. We always see horror movies. So Final Destination, Terrifier, fucking Bad Monkey, you name it. So they're always like, no. So finally, fucking Tom Cruise put a movie out, and we had to go with the family. Fucking $28 for the 4 of us to go fucking see a movie. So you got to move to a small town, Jermaine. It's It's where you live. Because in Jersey, the same thing, man. We would drop $80 easy on going to a movie.
Well, Tiff likes going to the drive-through up,
That's
like
dope.
in Robinson, which is about 11 miles away. But they
Driving,
usually they always
That's
do like double and triple features. Like the last time we went, we saw it was Smile 2, Terrifier 3, and the original Scream.
Hell yeah.
$10. I'm like, okay. So but yeah, that's kind of where she's very much of the ilk of like, I'm not paying double. Like I'm not gonna go to a theater and pay $20 a ticket. Like, you're fucking high. Like, we have a car.
Just stream it for 20 a week later. It'll be on the fucking on demand.
He said a week later. They do come out. I mean, like, movies come out, they're ready to stream on digital platform within 2 months. I mean, for real.
Yeah. Crazy. It used to be you'd have to wait 8 months.
It used to be like 2 years.
Crazy.
Yep. But yeah, I don't have any extravagant plans or anything. Just R&R, relaxation. And
Jermaine, how old will you be? I'm turning 44. How old are you gonna be?
47.
47. Shit. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And I just turned 39 a few weeks back. So
young buck. I remember those days when I was 39. Young, dumb, and white privileged up.
Well,
he said he can. Y'all talk about it like y'all can just grab it before you leave the crib. You leave it on the table. Be like, oh, let me go pick up my white privilege and pick it back up and put it in your pocket.
I can have a little.
Have you left out the house without your wife's privilege and shit went haywire?
No, I never
turn around. I'll turn
like,
around if I forget it.
Well, here's what it is. You know how every grocery store has a little card and they give you a little key one? I have it on my little keychain.
A little small keychain white privilege. He's like, let me scan that.
And basically, all it is
what's your
Jesus
you can use your
sitting
phone
there
number.
with 2 thumbs up. That's all it is. Jesus give me 2 thumbs up. That's what's on the card. Stones, what about you, man? How was your week?
Man, like I said, we're kind of settling in. It was March 13th that our house burnt out. My literally, it's under investigation. All signs, and they don't tell you anything officially because obviously it's an investigation. But all signs are pointing to my neighbor, who we were fucking friendly. I had been to his house, met his family. He'd been in our house. We made him dinner. All signs are pointing to this motherfucker blew up his own house, set up a gas leak, turned the gas on. 4 hours later, threw something lit to blow it up. Thursday night, I'm in the fucking, this is prior to Kev passing. I'm in the Castle Chronicles fucking chat room, like had a nice spitball show. 10 o'clock comes around, I'm in Castle Chronicles Discord chat, saying stupid shit like always. And all of a sudden, I thought an earthquake hit. And my wife thought a plane crash. She was upstairs sleeping, watching some TV. And next thing you know, man, we're running out of our house, watching our fucking townhouse burn down. Literally. And small town down here, it's all volunteer fire departments. So the volunteer firemen were on the scene, but not the apparatus. Fire trucks had to come from 2 towns over. So literally 20, it felt like 2 days, but it was 20 minutes. Our roof caught fire from his, they're connected townhouses, obviously. Our roof caught fire, caved in, took everything on the second floor out. This week has been better. Every week's a little bit better. We're in a rental now. Progressive, as much as I shit on Progressive, they are paying for our fucking rental, covering those expenses. But yeah, man, it's been weird. It's been a surreal. You go from your normal everyday life in your little house that you own, first home we ever owned, to now we're in some fucking bitches rental. I got a fucking landlord calling up, going, "We're gonna stop by today." Like, go fuck yourself. I own my home. But we demoed it actually this week. The demolition was completed, so the standing structure that was all fucked up is clean slate. working with the builder, working on drawings and permits and the rebuild. But I'm personally in a state where I'm starting to feel a little more positive. It took me a few weeks where I was just angry, fucking depressed, fucking mad, fucking just not myself. And then right after that happened, 3 weeks later, Kev passed away. Which I don't know if you guys were listening to a lot of DTKC, but like I said, I've been there for 15 plus years. So it was just like two major things that changed my everyday. So I'm starting to feel a little bit more normal. Spitball, filling the gap, obviously, even finding you guys. So it's been a little better, man. And getting back to work has brought some normalcy to my life as well. That 9 to 5. I actually work 9:30 to 6:30, Jermaine. Not as bad as your hours, but 9:30 to 6:30. I work remote. I'm on the phone all day, so I'm rocking it out of the rental. But yeah, man, I'm just trying to be a little more positive each and every day, move forward, and seeing the end of the light, seeing us back in a new house, hopefully.
Let me ask you this. So
Yeah, man.
Signs are pointing towards the neighbor and what happened there.
Mhm.
Like what comes of that? Like what
I think because he wasn't the sharpest guy in the world. Apparently, we found out after the fact he had a little bit of a record for nothing major, but stupid shit. He been
like
little
running red
time
lights?
here, running hit ton of tickets, but even a few stints in like jails, not prison or
Yeah.
anything like that, but bullshit. So we find that out after the fact. The best we can surmise is that he thought he would get an insurance payout. But because it's under criminal investigation, his insurance company, the fire inspector we talked to last week, has paid him $0. He's going to never see a dime and probably wind up getting arrested. So I don't see, what's the point of that? But I
Did he
think
have a
that
family? He lived there by himself, or what?
it was him and his fiance. He's probably in his mid-30s. His fiance was a little bit younger. They had a baby together, and the best I can tell, because like I say, every other day of life was normal. He would fucking wheel my garbage can to our fence every Monday. The garbage truck would come. He was the neighbor that would fucking take our little can from the street and bring it up to the fence, close to the fence for it. Like that's how we thought it. We liked this guy. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, like who the fuck do we live next to? So we actually asked the fire inspector when we talked to him last week. We're like, will he be rebuilding? Because then we would probably sell our shit. And he was like, he ain't gonna be rebuilding. There's gonna be a resolution in a few months. They're dealing with warrants. They're working with Verizon. The guy told us it takes forever to get Google to give you fucking search histories on warrants, Verizon on warrants. So it's the real crazy shit behind the scenes going on. But yeah, man, you never know who the fuck you fucking with or who lives next to you. It's crazy.
Yeah.
God damn.
You can walk right past and say hi to a psycho that you have no idea.
Like I said, we were friendly. Like I wouldn't say close, but friendly for sure. His daughter, once in a while, he had a daughter in school in town, maybe 7 years old, 8 years old. Sometimes when he wasn't home and she got dropped off by the bus, he told her ring their bell. She would ring our bell. She'd come in for 30 minutes. I'd chill with her while I'm working. Just so she's not wandering around. Meanwhile, this motherfucker burns our fucking house down a year later. So, yeah, man, you never fucking know. And,
I don't even know how you're able to do the mental gymnastics there.
It took a minute, man. It's wifey. I think if I was on my own, you'd be doing this interview from prison right now. It's definitely been wifey for sure. 100.
Yeah. Takes a lot to wrap your head around that and then try to push through that. Yeah.
I'm assuming nobody was home on his side.
On his side, and that's another sketchy thing because they had a dog, a baby, and the two of them. And yet the night that this happened, nobody, including the dog, even the dog was at work that night. Yeah, it's fucked up. For sure. Yeah. It's sketch.
Like that's obviously arson. That definitely feels like it's attempted murder.
Like, for sure. There's got to be felonies upon felonies upon felonies.
Yeah, like he just.
We talked to the inspector. He said there'll be a resolution, but probably 8 to 10 months. I mean, that's how long shit like this takes.
They probably have to figure out how many life sentences. And that's one thing I've always found weird. If you get a life sentence and you get like another life sentence and it's concurrent, I'm like, I think one's good. I don't really need more than one.
That's true.
Seems silly.
That's true.
The
So
drugs
this week I've
involved?
been back to normal. To answer your initial question, it's been a normal week. Back to work, work, doing my thing. Movies today with the family. I try to look at the positives and the little things, man, at this point, because otherwise, like I said, I wasn't taking it too well mentally the first fucking couple of weeks,
I think
obviously.
it would be weird if you did. I mean,
Yeah,
that.
yeah, true,
I
true.
mean, honestly,
That's true too.
Rams wants to
So
know if there were drugs involved, and I feel
that's
like
we're not sure. He made a comment to us that like he had like 2 pounds of weed in the house, and he's going to tell his insurance
that's
so
not
they can pay
drugs.
him out for it. That's bullshit, So I
Yeah,
I honestly think it was turn on the gas, come back 4 hours later, and throw something in, blow your shit up. I don't know why. It's like you said. I don't know what the end to that is. I don't know what you gain from that.
I mean, I mean, it has to be some kind. Because it's not trying to get rid of his family, because they weren't there.
No, no.
It has to be money motivated. It has to be an insurance payout. But it's like, do you realize that this is 2025? You can find out
1970
anything that's ever happened ever with ever. Like,
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Do you watch CSI, Criminal Mind? Like, do you see these shows? They know how to put things together now. Come on, I mean,
right.
That's
wow.
the part that we can't really wrap our heads around. Is like, what did you think you were going to gain from
Well, you said
any
he
of
wasn't
this?
real sharp, so
But
I think
still,
that
like you gotta. I mean, and he wasn't. Believe me, he was not. But still,
yeah.
it's like you said. If you ever see a TV show, it doesn't work like that now. It's like so I don't know, man. Just life throws crazy shit at you, and we try to move forward. Like I say, I got a rock holding me down, which
Yeah.
if I didn't, it'd be a very different story right now.
It's pretty cool.
Well, with that being said, I feel like that's a pretty good segue to get into the draft here. You know, so Jermaine, please, rehash what the draft is going to be.
Draft is going to be, I mean, draft is 4 picks. So we're going to go, and it could be anybody that is influential in your life, at any point in your life. It could be, your young part of your life. It could be your mid part of your life. It could be even now, any type of influential person or, driving force that shape who you are today. I have a few from high school and, some people in the community I grew up in. So go from there.
All right, as per tradition, the guest, they get to go first. In this draft, it doesn't really matter too much. It's just more like who's going to talk next, because it's not like anyone's going to take each other's draft picks. So
True.
we'll just kind of go.
I may take Jermaine's fifth grade teacher. I don't know. That is
Well,
in
I
the,
mean,
that is in the mix.
it's funny you think he actually got to fifth grade, but it's fine.
True.
But yeah, we'll just kind of go on how the screen is set up. So Stoney, you'll go. Jermaine, you'll go. Then I'll go. Then we'll wrap around. So 4 rounds. It doesn't matter who how you say it is not sequentially indicative of where they land in your rankings. But I think generally speaking, when you speak of who you're speaking of, you're kind of ranking them because they came to your mind first.
Of course. For me, this is an easy number 1 pick. Is my father, and there've been plenty of influential people, but my old man has held it down from day one. When I was born on Long Island, he actually ran charter fishing boats. He ran a fucking shark boat out of Amityville, New York, Freeport, really, and he ran a fluke charter boat that he'd go out half a day. This man, from the day I met him 44 years ago, is on the move. Always a business plan, always something positive. He drives me crazy. He's the most positive person I've ever met in my life, to the point where we butt heads because I'm a little more realistic, I feel. But he, over the years, has not only shown me, the right way to do things, which, okay, you fall off here and there, you learn your lessons, but he has definitely given me the best advice to move forward in this life to this day. Even today, he's given us advice about moving forward in the house and the building. So easy answer for me is the old man for sure. Papa Stoney.
Papa Stones. I like it. All right. Jermaine doesn't know what a dad is, so it's fine.
He said like 5.
No.
He's not
No.
sure. He's like, it could be any one of these. So, you know.
No, actually, I mean, I'm going to pick my figures. I mean, it's definitely going to be, I have like 2 father figures, you know, I mean, my actual father and, you know, someone that I worked for at a young age. But I'm going to start with the, you know, school, with teacher. One of my teachers that I had, you know, I went to Alacopa High School, and
Hell yeah. Sorry, Jermaine. CM just popped in. I did have to represent Baltimore this evening. I apologize.
that O's hat. Okay. Orioles hat. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had a teacher. It was a English teacher, you know, and you know, the guy's name is Mr. Smianik, and he was just one of those people that just the way he carried himself and basically, you know, kind of instilled in me that I am way more, you know, intelligent and I have more capabilities and, you know, I'm able to handle and conduct myself in a way that I almost should know that I am, you know, as opposed to, you know, when you're young and you're being molded and you're being shaped and you're in your teenage years, you don't quite know who you are, you know. So, you know, he was encouraging any type of, you know, confidence I had in myself, and he kind of brought that out of me, you know, as far as like letting, like, don't be afraid to be the like a lot of things he would say to me, don't be afraid to be the smartest person in the room, you know, don't be afraid to, like, just that extra little push. And, you know, no teacher had done that for me. You know, most teachers, you know, they just give you the curriculum, you learn whatever the lesson is, you study the answers of the test, take the test, and you forget all about that shit. You know, but you know, he definitely instilled a quiet confidence in me to know who I am, as opposed to guessing and trying to figure out, you know, who I am. So I don't have a whole bunch of concrete examples, but it was just one of those things that, you know, I've taken some of his advice and, you know, the things he taught me, and I still use them today.
Do you feel like he would be disappointed knowing you do a pod with RD now? Because he'd probably like, I was wrong. I was wrong.
Like, you didn't do anything I told you to do.
Right.
Both choices, Jermaine.
Told
Terrible.
you, don't trust Whitey, and then you go and do.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. No, that's I like, and that's my father the same way, man. I can relate to what you just said with family, the same thing, man. That's what it's about. It's for sure. Sometimes you need that to jump off and do your thing.
Well, I never met my dad, so I don't know.
I'm
So,
right. You looking at him. You looking at him, buddy.
well, that's weird. Was that one I did?
So,
I couldn't.
so that means he had you when he was 5. When he was 5, he was plugging your mom. So
I couldn't help myself.
Well,
I'm
that
sorry.
makes sense why my dick's so small. So that checks out. So,
return fire.
yeah,
Oh
you're
man.
welcome.
Oh man.
But yeah,
I
never
know what
met
show
my
I'm
dad.
on. I know what show I'm on.
Never, that OnlyFans. Check it out. $7.99.
I know. I sent you that tip this afternoon, by the way. Thank you.
Oh well.
For
Oh, I
private video.
thought that was a fucking mint. Anyway, so I never met my dad. Never met him. I have no idea. But was raised by my grandparents. I'm not counting my grandma in this because she, you know, at that point, very submissive, just very gender roley. It just was the times and whatever. But I will go my grandfather, and I will say it because not because he was any semblance of a driving force. He was obviously older, not really working at that point, you know, winding down his life, yada yada yada. But the fact that in tandem, the day I was born, they took me from a drug addicted, terrible mother. They adopted me that day. Like, I never even went home. The most time I ever spent with my mother was a weekend. That was it. Terrible fucking human. So I think, you know, obviously retrospect, you weren't aware of that day one, but recognizing you are able to save somebody, right? My grandparents were together for almost 50 years. They're both dead. Everybody's dead now.
Like
But
all four, I got blessed. I met all four. I got time with all
yeah,
four. But same
nice.
here. Yeah, for sure.
But I think just the values and the morals that they instilled in me, and just kind of without being overtly too old school with it, like they didn't like black people. I mean, I'll just tell you this:
I feel like
they were that kind of they were that old school white people.
They would be
feel
upset that you didn't follow their
Oh
wishes.
yeah, oh yeah,
or did he?
yeah.
Or did he? I
Grand,
don't know.
Grandma was fine with Tiff. He was not around for her. There would have absolutely been hard R's, 100%, easily. And I am my father's child. So, but no, just kind of the. It's hard to really kind of articulate it because you had to kind of see it. But I think being able to skip a generation, like when the generations were more respectful of, I wouldn't say I can't say what I said, then segue and say they were more respectful of people, but I think just more. It taught you to be self-sufficient and independent and not a pussy, and that's what I appreciated. So sorry to be long-winded, but that was my answer.
Were you guys in Pittsburgh, RD? Are you from there originally?
Yeah. I grew up in an actual hood, a real life hood. I saw a dead body before I saw titties. So, a real fucking thing.
That was like 3 months ago, though.
Yeah. But yeah,
Sure. No, that's crazy, man. And I mean, that family, man. Whether it's your parents or, in your instance, your grandparents,
and
family,
I always
man.
kind of
That's
look at them as my parents.
Hell yeah,
but,
that's all. That's all you got.
Yeah. All right, sir. Number 2.
Hell yeah. Number 2 is gonna be my wife, because we've been married going on 3 years, but we've been together going on 11.
Yeah.
This when the day she met me, Don Stoney was a different person than he is today. That's for sure. So again, I'm not perfect by a million miles, but I try to, emulate the positive people in my life. I've surrounded myself with positive people because I know I need that. It's sometimes it's you're with what you need, and we've been first couple years were tough. There's exes and this and that, and getting through all that brought us together more to where now, again, I look at her like she's the rock. She I'd be in a very different place. Rams, easy answer. It's Rams fan is the answer.
That's
But nah, man, it's finding that person, and RD, it sounds like you could relate. Jermaine, I don't know if you're married or in a relationship or anything, but man, it's you find that one person, man.
He's
and
married to the game.
It just changes, like
I'm actually came out of one. Yeah.
Yeah,
A long time one, like 20 plus. Yeah.
Oh shit! All right.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's definitely, you find that somebody that compliments you. Like we're bipolar opposites, but that's what I need. If I found someone that was me, again, we've been conducting this interview from a jail cell. Dateline would be fucking asking me these questions. But yeah, man, you find the right people in your life, and makes you a little bit better person yourself, and that's what I try to do.
Love it.
All right,
Jermaine. I guess you can talk about your boyfriend.
Whatever. My second one is I am going to pivot to my dad, and not for a ton of them, because I grew up. I'm the baby of 5 children, so there's definitely a bunch of kids to cater to. But I look up to him because of just the sheer circumstances we were in. 5 kids, 7 people living in a project apartment in Aliquippa, just to be able to have the strength to just not leave and stay there and bear it and make sure we're all we all went and made it through school. A couple of us made it to college, just being able to now. I mean, we were dirt poor. I'm talking like on welfare my entirety of my high school year, as far as all I can remember, and just to be able I mean, just so many kids that I grew up around, their fathers bolted on them at one point or another, and he stuck it out. I mean, I give me and my brothers. My dad wasn't perfect, but just growing up in the circumstances of the vast amount of poverty going on at the time, and for him to stick it out, with all of us, and make sure that we all were raised. I mean, we all, everyone in my family, my brothers and my sisters, we, all of us are doing pretty decent. We're doing okay. I mean, none of us are rich, but at the same time, none of us are at the bottom of the barrel or strung out on drugs or anything like that. He's a heavy religious man, definitely, taught us about, the church and the things of the different aspects of religion. So, I just appreciate his presence of just being there, and when, like I said, most kids around me never knew their father, like you, Rich, or never saw him.
We make a lot of jokes and crack a lot of, whatever. I mean, it's all in love and all in silly, and stereotypes are terrible. But honestly, yeah, I mean, based on what you were telling me, you were reading the riot act of like, this shouldn't have happened based on the circumstance and situation. And that is amazing and beautiful. And he was like, fuck that. Just take it out.
Also Pittsburgh area, PA.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. Yeah, I grew up in Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, which is about a 30-minute drive from Pittsburgh.
True. My grandmother's
pretty much hard north.
My grandmother grew up in Johnstown. Yeah, I've been out there once years ago. I don't remember it too much, but she was. I miss her to this day. She was definitely a pisser for sure. She's and hard R's for sure. She definitely for sure, man. I love it. Very cool.
I'm taking the low hanging fruit here. Obviously Tiffany. One of the smartest people I know, one of the most driven people you could want. Now, don't get it twisted. She's also dumb as a fucking rock.
Well, you guys are married, right? So that speaks to that. Like, you don't.
Yes. But I've known her half of my life.
Hell yeah. Were you guys high school sweethearts, RD?
Funny enough,
how'd that happen?
Yeah. The high school thing happened. We were together for a little bit. We planned to have a baby, and we did because we thought we were ready, and that didn't really work. That drove us apart. She then left me and married somebody, then divorced that person and married me.
Is it weird that Jermaine is that person? Because you guys
I wasn't expecting that.
I know that one came from left field for sure.
That was good. Yeah, that's fair. I wish we were able to like switch that and be like, actually, this is how we came across it. But no. Just she is very, very sweet, but it would motivate you. And just I thought I was that person. It's funny.
No, I feel the same way. I feel like I can relate to you for sure, RD, and I feel that same. Not high school or anything like that, but 10, 11 years. That's going back a minute, and I feel that way too, man, for sure.
Yeah.
And this shit happens for a reason. We needed that. I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, any dude that thinks he can just kind of attack the world alone is a fucking idiot. You need your other half, and sometimes you need a break from it, whatever, but there is going to be a large period in your life where you're like,
okay,
this was my partner in crime, and this is what helped me mold myself into a better adult, and I am much better for knowing her.
No, same. I can relate to that for sure, and it's 100% true, and definitely makes us better. Just wanting to be a little better, because
right.
It's not easy out there, man. It's easy to act like a fucking fool out there, but it's not easy to hold it down sometimes.
Adulting is not easy. As much as one would think it is, it is. You are not built to do it alone. You're just All right, sir. Number 3.
Number 3, and
We may
again,
just do a 3-rounder unless everyone has 4. Do you want to do a 3-rounder?
3's good.
Good.
All right, we'll do 3. Okay.
Rams are gonna say this is an easy pick again. But my uncle, my uncle, who's
The one that fucked
lives
you, or the other one?
well, 2 of them fucked me, so it's hard to I don't know.
Okay.
But the the one that I grew up with over the years, literally a second father, another positive influence, another person I can look at and the success that they've had and the family that they have. And again, just another person that I can strive to be. I don't know I'll ever get there, ever. But it's just another positive influence. And as I've gotten older, I appreciate that shit. Growing up, that was all taken for granted. That was all, oh, I don't want to go over there. Like I'm going to do this with my friends. I don't want to go do that. At this point in my life, I appreciate that. Having people around me like that, positive, loving family. It's not everybody has that, man. And I've started to realize that over the years, and definitely going with family, man, on all rounds.
I mean,
Fuck you, Rams. It's not
it was
easy.
to be expected. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it was just more of who was gonna say who.
Hell yeah. I'm blessed, man, to have that family, and you guys know, RD, your grandparents, Jermaine, your dad. Like, not everybody has that shit, and
Right.
No,
if
they don't.
you can take some positive shit from that, and
Look,
try to be a better
I
person.
came out without that.
Yeah.
I just had someone pick up the fumble.
Hell
So-
yeah! At the fire station, they were like, "Yo,
Right.
we're on break, but who left this baby?" At
Like
the fucking
someone fucking,
Hell yeah, man!
they're like, who the fuck Uber eats the baby? What?
I gotta drop off. It's a white newborn with privilege. Anybody want?
That's funny.
Hurry up before that privilege run out.
What the fuck?
Hell
is-
yeah!
All right. Yeah, my third, I'm going to kind of go your same route as Stoney as far as like a second father. I had a second father that pretty much, I mean, I told you that my actual father was very heavily religious. So he could only tell me as far as like what's going on out there. And I mean, because at some point you got to face, the streets that's outside of, the church world. And my dad could only go so far because he didn't know. I'm not going to say he didn't know too much, but he wasn't in the streets. So I did have someone that started working for when I was 12 years old. It was like he had a car shop, used to sweep up, and then eventually learned, to do body work and all that. So, I know how to work on cars, but I pretty much had a dad that he taught me the school of the hard knocks. I'm talking about like how to watch out for somebody that's trying to not be naive. I mean, trying to watch out for somebody that is trying to get you, make sure you're not naive, kind of, taught me the game of, how to deal with my money and what I should do. And, he definitely had a big hand on, being able to teach me what my real father couldn't teach me, which was, how the streets work. I'm sorry. I mean, it's like not the streets, just the world in general. I mean, making sure that, I'm not one of those suckers out there getting ran over.
The world,
you know what I mean?
is the streets. That's hell yeah. I feel blessed growing up in the Northeast. New York, New Jersey, that taught me the same shit. And my old man, the same thing. He's got story. You probably rather have him on. He got crazy stories from the fucking 70s, fucking Wild West shit. But no, man, same thing. Like if I grew up in the Midwest somewhere, the plains, like I feel like I'd be a totally different person. It's definitely you need that too. You need both. I feel like everything, like Gemini, Jermaine, you need a little of this, a little of that. It's
a little of that,
Sure.
And this guy was he was an Arabic guy, so it wasn't like any type of ethnicity we couldn't cross or anything like that. I mean, it was like genuine love, but it was tough love. It was that learning how to to deal with people and individuals that you can't learn in no classroom or definitely not a church.
True.
I need to get that tattooed on my fucking neck.
Nobody wanna be on all days. Good work.
Rams joining us in the chat. Appreciate you, Ram. Sean, what up?
Yes.
Yeah, appreciate the comments.
All right. This last pick of the draft is gonna feel pretentious, and I will need to have an explanation behind it so it doesn't come across that way. It's me.
Like Tomlin.
Christ, no. Um, it's me. So I am my third pick. And I say that because of this. Being born addicted to heroin, being born into a skipped generation, being born into really a, for all intents and purposes, kind of a racist situation. Having not a lot of money, doing that whole thing, right? The fact that I am still here and have not had I don't get in trouble. I don't do dumb things except run red lights. It's fine. I feel like I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, but I've learned from them. I tend to not make these same mistakes, except definitely had a few years where I kept banging the same kind of broads. Didn't really learn from that.
They call them she-males, Jermaine. Just, say the quiet part out loud.
That's what the dick was. That's what. See, I thought. Okay, they said they had just really big clits. I don't know what that was.
Big clit energy,
Yeah, big. That's actually funny because I do say Tiff has big clit energy all the time when she's running her meetings. I'm like, yeah, bitch, tell them hoes what's up.
No, but Rich, I give you mad props because you've basically been given almost every excuse to be a failure. Like
right.
Everyone, I mean, like the variables outline that says if you became a failure, no one will be surprised. But for you to turn that around and to not fall susceptible to all of the variables that allowed you to be a behavior, I mean, you got to have a strong mind, a strong will. I give you props for that, for sure.
I appreciate that. I didn't want to be nothing, right? And I just didn't want to accomplish nothing. And it's hard to say. I'm not anybody in the world. I understand that. But I'm also not a statistic. And that's what I didn't want to do. I wanted to avoid doing that. Because I could have gone down a terrible road. Like, because of what I was born with, I'm very, very apt to have an addictive personality. So...
Do you smoke or do you drink? Like, what do you fuck with anything, or that'll put you over the top like this?
I fucking love cigarettes. They are my favorite. That actually should have been my third pick. Fucked up.
I did mean liquor. I did mean like anything that not drugs like you do in hard drugs, but anything that'll alter your state of mind. Or do you totally stay away because that that may be putting you in a bad spot going forward?
Not purposefully. I'm not a drug guy. I have zero desire. Just doesn't tickle my fancy. Mm-hmm. I don't really drink that much. When I do drink, I'm like, yeah, it's fucking great. But like, I still have 2 beers in the fridge from New Year's Eve, and I still have, I think, 2 Coronas from the 12-pack that 4 of us were drinking on my birthday 3 weeks ago.
On your birthday. Yeah, like so, Rich is an occasional, just so as far as I've seen. I've never. Yeah. I think the drunkest I've probably seen him is his bachelor night or what? It's your bachelor party.
And I wasn't even that lit there. I was just like, all right, I need to be able to get myself wrangled here. But yeah, oh god,
you have a couple, but no weed, no none of that.
Yeah, and it's not because I'm worried I'll go down some rabbit hole. It's like it doesn't appeal to me. No, I love drinking. It's just more of like if we're gonna do it, let's do it. But I usually try to stay very in a good place in case because I don't like being out of control. I think that's really subconsciously what it is. I need to be in control of the situation in case anything goes down, so I can either get myself or loved ones or friendos out of the equation. So
True. Well,
I'm like
it's
the
funny.
unintentional D&D guy.
It's funny you say that because when the shit went down with our shit, I was in that again. Spitball was a great show. I was in that Kev Castle chat, sipping on the fucking Tito's, and without wifey having a clear frame of mind, she grabbed our cell phones. She grabbed the fence key so we could get out. Like it, I feel the same way, man. You need that person. Maybe you're that person, RD, but I need that person to be there for me too. Because yeah, man, it's a lot to carry.
And
do it all
don't
by
get it.
yourself.
Don't hear what I'm not saying. I am not one to disparage anyone that likes to indulge, that likes to indulge, have fun. No, I don't care. Your life is your life. I'm not one to judge you. I don't care. I don't look at you any other way, unless you're doing like hard drugs. And I'm like,
yeah,
you're
of course.
kind of a fucking cunt. Like,
Yeah,
just fucking kill yourself.
True.
Heroin and crack and all that. You doing all that? You got a problem.
Yeah, like this. Can you just kind of just exit stage left, please?
True. No, that's another thing too. As we get older, I've learned that as well. Like you don't, when I was younger, I hung with those people. Those people I called friends, and as you get older, you realize that's not, it's not what it is.
Yeah, because now you're like, hey, you have gray hair. What the fuck are you doing? Like, God bless. I would say I guess maybe my only other real addiction is kind of, I guess tattoos, but I'm more like, I don't know, I just love the process of it rather than, and I think honestly, as I've gotten older, I'm like, okay, let's go do it. It's fine. I'm not like as pumped.
We're the same way at this point. I don't have a lot, but I'm definitely into it. I appreciate art more than anything. So I look at it like, just art, creativity. I like all that shit. I did want to ask you two, how did you find podcasting? Like, RD, Jermaine, you guys knew each other before all this. Like, how were you like, yo, we should go on YouTube and we should say some funny shit?
Well, Jermaine used to be my boss when I worked at Xfinity, right? And he was an awful boss. No, he was great. He was great. He was very very good at what he did, but we also connected very, very, very well. It was one of those instant kind of like, oh shit, and we just linked up. And when he was doing what he had to do with me, we would find ourselves just going down rabbit holes, talking and making just great conversations. And I think just in passing occasionally, dude, we gotta fucking do something with this. And we never did. We never ever did. And
so we would have these coaching, like it was a session, like I was a supervisor, so I had to bring my employees back and we would have a coaching session. And most coaching sessions, we're talking about the job, but me and Rich's conversations, we talked about everything but the job. And it was like, and people were getting jealous because they would hear us laughing and joking. And like, man, how come my session isn't like that? People would be jealous. Like, how come you don't talk to me like you talk to him or whatever? And,
real good.
And at some point, we kept having the conversations, and then even outside of work. And then it was like, man, we gotta, like, our conversations, they go deep. And I was like, man, we gotta have somebody hear this, because we thought that, we had some good topics, some good, things, serious, funny, blase. It's like, we gotta get this recorded. Next thing you know, we sat down on the couch and he found, what was it, Spreaker, or was it called Spreaker?
It started with Spreaker, and then we would upload because we weren't doing video at that point. We would still upload
we were doing audio
on YouTube. Yeah. And I'm a real big numbers analytics person. I just kind of eventually saw, like, no one really gives a shit about the audio, just the straight audio. So that's when I just eliminated Spreaker out of the equation, and we only do YouTube now. But
my next question, RD, how long have you guys been doing this?
We just passed 2 years?
A little over 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, so just a little bit over, and
hell yeah, man.
I love it. I get to talk to my friends, and now I'm introducing more people into the equation, which has been a welcome thing, and not by any stretches because we were running out of content, because we weren't, but it's gotten so many more eyes and such a different feel of the show now, right? Like it feels, and it's not, once again, it's not an indictment on what we were doing, but this whole show has been a giant evolution continuously. And if you're not willing to evolve or change, then why the fuck are you doing it?
Well, that's like life, man. I feel the same way. Like, Don Stoney 15 years ago, this would be a different show, for sure, man. And if we can all do that, that's just positive shit.
Yeah.
I love that. Hell yeah. I thought Jermaine was court ordered to be here originally.
Oh,
I talked to you guys.
no.
I was like, yo, this dude, something.
It's part of my
Jermaine blinked.
it's part of my
twice.
community service for.
If you need me to call for help, blink twice. Please. Just
Yes. And well, what I
It's
didn't
part
tell
of
you is
my community service for Black privilege. So it's part of it.
This is a court ordered show. I like
this is actually just the Big Brother program. That's all it is. It's actually working fine. Now, just before we get out of here, I do want to kind of say this, because I know I put this out on Twitter, and I will do it again, because I didn't really wrangle everything I wanted to wrangle, just because it's been a wild week. I am going to put together a little clip of all the shout outs and the thank yous and all that fun stuff. Now, obviously, it's going to be more for the folks that actually have a platform. And that's not, don't be upset that I don't mention you or anything like that. I don't want this clip to be 4 minutes long. That's not the point of this. Basically, it's going to be the friendos of the show, who they are, when they record, and then next. So I'm going to put that together, and I'll play that in the middle of the episodes, kind of going forward. So if folks could just kind of reach out, give me the info. I already have some ideas who I'm going to do, but anyone else who wants added to it, there we go. But so because I don't like not saying thank you to the folks that help support and help put out the word for the stuff that come in and talk, and that's shitty. And once again, I don't want to not mention individuals, but get a platform when I'm mentioning it. How about that?
I had to ask you, RD, too, the Patreon, because I know you mentioned that here and there, and then on the Twitter and shit. What's on the Patreon that we're not going to find on YouTube?
So I did a few little things on there, right? And that was it. It was just a few little just solo shows that I was in the car. And I'm like, let me say some shit. It's hard to get behind wanting to do it, because I know Chris Matthews is a part of it, and I appreciate that. It's hard it's the chicken or the egg thing, right? It's hard to want to put content on there when there isn't enough eyes on it. But then also, how are you supposed to get eyes on it if there isn't anything?
There's not enough content.
We wanted to do a Q&A thing, kind of like how Spitball did. Because I think it would be cool to have people, hey, here's some shit that you haven't mentioned. I would love to do that. And we put that stuff out there. That's actually on the tier list. And no one's really done it and anything like that. So it's I've talked to the Spitball boys, and they said, look, it doesn't make a ton of sense to do it until you really kind of get, a big following. And I'm like, yeah, I get that, but also I wouldn't necessarily mind help with the overhead of the show. Like,
True.
I myself have I can't say it like that way. I've probably put.
Jermaine, I think that's another racial slur.
Just
saying.
I've probably put in about $3,000 into just.
I believe it, man.
And
plus your time. Don't forget your time away from the
time is money. Yes, it
man.
is.
How RD Jermaine? How did you guys find Spitball? That was another question I wanted to ask.
He did.
Very curious.
He didn't. It was more me.
It was.
Jermaine's not the most technically jumping in.
Wait, what?
Because
Did I
he's-
I'm not a
Xfinity,
big
that's
social media guy.
Yeah.
I'm not like all over the spheres.
Oh
I'm
my
not
God.
all over Twitter or I'm not all over Instagram or anything. I mean, I'm on
Yeah,
Instagram.
me
I watch,
neither.
look at the pictures, but I don't do
Same.
Facebook. I'm not
No,
a
same
social
here.
media guy.
Same here. Same here. This world, these small circles, making stupid
Yeah.
jokes in small circles is what brought me here. So I can relate to that for sure. For sure.
But I came across Spitball because I came across Draper,
Same here.
and ended up actually interviewing Draper, which was super fun.
I saw that. Yeah, hell yeah.
It was like one of those weird. I think it's when I actually fanboyed out a little bit. I was like, shit, dude! Like all the stories he was saying, I'm like, oh, I like all these things. I like
Yeah, no,
this.
you didn't have to give him the blowjob, but
Dude, I fucking had to. I mean, it was just sitting there. I wasn't gonna say no.
fucking groupie. Hey now.
Um,
Groupie dad.
and yes, and it just kind of. I'm not
I
even
love it.
I'm not a big movie guy, but I want to
No.
support folks. But the conversation, once again, just like with the Soup Boys, I'm not a fan of the
I was gonna
wrestling.
say, are you
I don't care.
wrestling guys or no?
Not at all.
No,
I've been listening to
No.
Soup for like
No,
fucking
dang.
11, 12 years.
That's
And
crazy.
it's just because I enjoy the people. I enjoy the conversation because they don't
That's
just
how I
do
feel.
that. They don't just hone in on that.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. That's how I found this world and these again small circles. This isn't not they're not
Yeah.
watching Don Tony on TV, but these small circles. That's where I'm more comfortable anyway. It's the people. It's not the subject. It's not wrestling. It's not movies. It's the fucking
Right.
people, man. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
And that's really what kind of I don't know. It's just really.
Wow.
I
I'm
don't even know how to
I'm
explain it.
sorry I invited him in the chat, boys. That's
It's fine. It's fine.
That's our first California viewer. This motherfucker.
Hey, I mean, I would hope so because it'd be weird if he was like an East Coast
That's
Rams
so
fan.
funny. So funny.
He might, if he's actually like a Rams fan, he'll enjoy, the football show that's gonna be coming out.
No,
probably
Sean,
about
for real, all jokes
month and a
aside,
half.
Sean is salt of the earth. Another one in there with me every fucking Thursday night on Castle Chronicles, every Monday night for DTKC's Real Fam. So yeah, if you do the fantasy show or the baseball shirt, if you bring that back with Chris Matthews, who's chatting now, I'm in, man.
Well, funny enough, I was going to mention this here too before we jump out of here. So I kind of was talking to Jermaine a little bit before we got on here. So anyone that hasn't really kind of heard, Chris has joined me to do a baseball show every 2 weeks now.
Hell yeah, I like
and it's very, very exciting. It's going to happen every other Friday. So actually it'll be this Friday coming up. And just a kind of little teaser, we're going to do our own personal 5 ranks of baseball closer entrances, like who we think were the best of all time. Just because
Sandman, number 1. I mean,
we'll see.
Come on.
We'll see. But yeah, we want to, and it may actually become more frequent potentially. It really kind of depends, but I think we got a lot of good feedback, good people in there on the chat that day. So it's going to be right around, I'd say 7:00 on Fridays. Like the time may kind of change potentially a little bit, but it should be every other Friday. Like I said, I mean, I'll just kind of I'm not going to promote anyone today because there's someone coming on next week that I haven't told anybody yet. And I want to be like this fun little reveal.
It's the cop. It's the cop who thought you were retarded.
It's the cop. But for anyone that's watching, I appreciate, you guys talking, yapping in the chat. Because it really, and I mean this, I swear to Christ on everything that's holy, I really do mean this. That keeps me going too. Like I love that. I love the interaction. Like
there's another little family, like we were talking about, man. It's family is all we got. Our real family obviously is number 1, but this has become our little families, and I love it too. Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, we've been looking for this type of engagement, and since we started. I mean, it was like, hey, we would like to be doing shows, and during the shows, people be dropping in comments, suggestions, anything. And it's finally happening. I mean, it took a while. Sometimes it felt like it was just me and Rich just seemed like we were just talking to each other. Like we didn't even have to be on camera. We could have just been on the phone.
and there was a lot of days where we recorded and we only got maybe about 4 or 5 views, and it was just kind of like,
dude, I love
well,
it's
well.
organic. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be,
Yes.
sell your soul and make $1 million. Like, nah,
Because
fuck
we
that.
could,
It's,
we
you being
absolutely could do that. I think we're both charismatic enough and smart
fuck
enough
yeah.
where we can go in and find some dumb shit to talk about
for
and
sure,
be
man.
like, oh, this is a cultural thing.
That's why I liked it. That's why I found this off of Spitball. Obviously, RD, you and I
Yeah.
interacting in chat rooms and texting, and then it is, man. It's the new little family in 2025 because fuck the world, man. So you need that family.
Yeah.
So please, once again, I'll just kind of reiterate this. Anyone that has a platform, please reach out. Tell me the days you record, because I mean, I probably know anyway, but tell me, because I'm going to put in a little video, because I'm not going to not mention it, because I just feel like a garbage person not doing that, because I don't want to omit people. So I'm not going to say anybody today. Everyone gets cut. So I will put that together this week and have it up on this platform at some point. I mean, it'll just be what I play in the middle of it. But Donald Stonish, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you, for real.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Enjoyed your presence, man.
Yeah,
Funny
man,
guy.
listen, the first time,
Yeah,
long time.
you did.
RD.
And it's funny because I forgot that. You just were
I know. You did awesome. Yeah. I forgot about you mentioned that in the beginning. That was it.
Listen, man, it's where I grew up. It's again, I go back to my dad. Like I think I just inherited this shit. I could talk to anybody at any time about anything. I want to thank you both for having me on.
Yes, sir.
I'll continue to fucking bullshit with you boys. Any opportunities in the future, I'm in.
Dude, it really did, man.
I just wanted to say, shout out Spitball, Don Tony, R.I.P. Kev Castle, man. That's really what brought me. It's the only reason I'm fucking here. If I didn't find those guys, so shout out to all involved, and thank you too for having me on, for real. It's fun. It's fun shit.
Yeah, no,
coming on.
Absolutely. Now,
hell yeah.
There's a little thing you do here. We need to find a better, more easy.
And Jermaine, still blink if you need me to call 911.
Jermaine has one last thing he is obligated to say by legal terms here. So, Jermaine, take him away.
Oh, yeah, thank you, boys.
And with that being said, there's ducks to be fed. Feed them ducks.
Quack, quack, quack.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for everybody who's listening. Sick a duck.